Hello and welcome to the MMA Corner. I'm your host, Jody, and what a great card. Like, that is card of the year, in my opinion. Card of the year so far. So, yeah, I think we should get right into it, starting with Anthony Smith and Jimmy Crute. That was, we've seen two of those, like, same kicks within the last year. You know, that happened to Sugar Sean as well. So, like, I used to call that a lucky kick. I don't think I can call it lucky anymore. I think people are just getting better at it, getting better at hitting that nerve. So maybe at some point this will be the catalyst to figure out how to block that calf kick better. So yeah, hopefully MMA is about to evolve again. It evolves probably twice a year in my opinion, from what people like to do. This happened. Calf kicks is one of like the most current evolutions, and everyone's starting to pick it up. So now we get to see some defense for it evolve somewhere, and we'll see what happens from there. Speaking of leg kicks, Chris Weidman, he got Anderson Silva, which is fucking crazy. I think I didn't see it. Like, I watched, like, the camera was in such a good angle for that initial kick, and like when he came back and put his foot down, I noticed before he fell over that something was wrong. Like, I looked at his leg, I'm like, that looks messed up. And then he fell over, and it became evident what was wrong, and it was so nasty. His face, like if you watch the replay's crazy because he kicks him, his ankle or his leg breaks perfectly, like Anderson Silva's did, and then he goes back and his face is stoic, and he's about to kick some ass and he's ready to go, and then he puts his foot down and it's over just immediately. And Uriah Hall becomes I think the first ever fighter to win a fight in the UFC without throwing a strike. So that's crazy. I can't believe it's so ironic. Is it ironic or is it? I would say it's ironic that this happened to him. Of all people, it could have happened to, right? Like, it's crazy. And then Valentina and Jessica Andrade. Uh, yeah, that I don't know what people were looking at. When I think I might have said that, like, if she can beat her early, but like I don't. It's Valentina. No one beats her early. It's got to be quick, or it's got to be like later in the round. Like, I think what her only she has 4 losses, and her only 2 in the UFC, I think, are against Amanda. I might be wrong with that number too. It might not be 4, but she lost early to Amanda in the first fight, I believe, and then the second one went to the decision. So no one beats her. No one finishes her anymore, and or has ever. I might be wrong with that first fight, but people thought that Jessica could wrestle really well. Jessica thought Jessica could wrestle really well, and then she couldn't. Like, immediately it became transparent that she was just going to get outpowered every time. I think she may have spun her around to the cage like twice, and then Valentina was like, nope, I'm going to be in charge here, and then would take her down. So, and then that crucifix again, she did that to Caitlin Chuchagian, and yeah, that when she is like the most dangerous person in that crucifix. She actually like, she cuts people, she hurts people, she damages people. It's not like Roy Nelson, uh, where Roy Nelson will just tap you on the head until the ref goes, well, he's not defending himself. So yeah, that was crazy. So Valentina won that one. That put me at 2 correct ones, with Uriah Hall winning the other one, with the one with Chris Weidman. I was wrong about Jimmy Crute, which sucked. I thought Smith was on his way out, but no, he's still hanging in there. So good for him. Those 3 fights were all good, and then the craziness of the last, like, those fights were all like, the reason I broke it up this way is because those fights were all like, you know these are all like good, but the last 2 are the ones that everyone was looking forward to. I was looking forward to Valentina, but I figured that Valentina would do what she did and beat her. I had no idea who was going to win the last 2. Initially I was saying that Weili Zhang would win over Rose, and then I changed my mind and said Rose would win. And then as I was making my predictions video, I changed it back to Weili Zhang, and then until their fight happened, I kept changing back and forth. And then eventually I just said, fuck it, I have to stick with what my video said. So I stuck with Weili Zhang, and she got kicked in the fucking head. And, if I'm wrong about a fight, I'm glad it's that one. I think Rose is the rightful champion. Andrade got super lucky in her first fight with her. She got dominated in the second fight, and I think that just goes to show how lucky she got. And now we're in a good spot. I think if you look at like the current group of champions on the roster, it's great. It is a good list of champs, with the exception of Aljamain, but I'm just gonna move on from that. I'm salty about that still. So head kick win for Rose, and now we get to the main event, which I thought if someone was gonna get finished early, it was gonna be Usman. I thought he was gonna get knocked out. I thought, he's working with Trevor Whitman, but that's not going to be enough for, look, comparing it to the first fight with Masvidal. But I think that just goes to prove that even Usman had, 6 days to get ready for Masvidal. Like Masvidal kept saying that I only had 6 days, only had 6 days. Well, so did Usman. Yeah, he had a camp, but he was training for somebody completely different. He was training for somebody who had a threat of a ground game. So, yeah, it was different, circumstances for the both of them having only 6 days to train for each other. And this is what Usman can do with a fight camp training for Masvidal. Get better with his striking, knock him out in the second. Like that was perfect. That shot, Masvidal just spins. He's dead. He's already out cold with that hit, and then he gets punched like 3 or 4 times on the ground, and it was absolutely necessary. And I think that was probably the best way that could have went, because now people can't complain about Usman being boring. Yeah, he had a rough fight with Masvidal about it. It was just foot stomps and leaning up against the cage. But other than that fight, his championship run has been phenomenal. Domination against Tyron Woodley. His fight with Covington was spectacular. And then we have the Masvidal fight, the first one, but there's a caveat beside that with 6 days. And then he fought Burns, got rocked in the first round against Burns, came back to win the rest of the round, and then the rest of the fight and finished him. And now he fought Masvidal again. Just excellent. He's pretty close. I think he's the second greatest, and I think he's going to be forever the second greatest welterweight of all time. GSP is going to hold that, and unless GSP comes back and fights him and Usman wins, I think GSP is going to always sit as the best. First of all, GSP is the greatest of all time, but he is the greatest welterweight of all time as well, so you kind of have to put that there. And Usman is the second greatest welterweight of all time. And I think that he's going to hold that for a long time. I think no one will ever put him above GSP unless if he knocks out Colby, like bad, and then fights Wonderboy, knocks him out, and like cleans out the rest of the division. Like, he's already beaten Masvidal twice. Woodley isn't an option anymore. He's out of the UFC. If he beats Covington like convincingly, like what he did to Masvidal, there's a good argument for him and GSP to be, the greatest. But I think for that Covington fight, it's gonna go 5 rounds again. But that's neither here nor there right now. So yeah, didn't think look at Trevor Whitman. I think Trevor Whitman has proven to be one of the greatest coaches of all time. Like, that's a crazy statement in my opinion, because there's so many good coaches out there. But look at his roster of people right now. He's got Rose, Gaethje, and Usman now. And Usman's level has gone way up since working with him. His striking was good against Covington, but that's 2 wrestlers striking. Now he just beat a striker. A striker who knocked out Ben Askren in 5 seconds with that crazy knee. By the way, did anybody else see the fact that he tried that again? He was leaning up against cage, hands behind his back. He went to that right side, and Usman didn't run at him, didn't do anything, so he kind of had to give up on it. But it was almost picture perfect exactly the same as what he was gonna do to Ben. Thought he'd try it again and be sneaky, and that'd probably be the only way he could get that win. I initially said like out of 10 fights, Masvidal wins 3. Now I think that's not even close. I think he wins 0 out of 10. Usman's just that good. Usman is going to hold that title for as long as he wants, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to like do anything about it. People are like, people are saying Connor's going to fight him, or Connor's saying Connor's going to fight him, and I think that's just a joke. Like, Connor has fought a bunch of 155ers at he's fought two 155ers at 170, Nate and Cowboy. He lost one to Nate. He beat Nate the second time in a close fight, and then Cowboy. We don't talk about that. That was boring. That was stupid. That made me mad. But yeah, I think all in all, Usman's gonna hold that title for as long as he wants. I think Covington is the only person who can like neutralize that wrestling threat. That wrestling threat is huge, and I think Covington's the only person who can neutralize it. And I think it's going to be another 5 round stand and bang. It's like stand and crack, do whatever they want to each other. And unfortunately, I think Usman takes that. You know, if he has gotten this much better with his striking, to where a striker gets taken out by your striking, I think you're in a world of pain if Covington doesn't do the same. So hopefully Covington's also moved camps. So hopefully he can improve his striking as well, and hopefully that is another that to me was like fight of that was 2019, correct? That was fight of 2019 or whatever year it happened. So I'm excited for that one. But the question is, where does Masvidal go? And I think if what is to be like if Nick Diaz is actually wanting a fight again, I think lots of people are saying Chimaev. I would like to see Masvidal and him fight. I think the older brother stepping in would be a good storyline and would sell a lot. A Diaz fighting Masvidal. The first one sold like crazy, so I think the second one would too. Especially because it'd be the return of Nick. Fuck, it would be the return of Nick. And Nick looks crazy. He looks in shape right now. So here's hoping that those two fight. I think Chimaev has a long way to go still before he's he's had like 3 or 4 fights. So I think he needs to have a couple more before he gets those top 5 guys. He was gonna fight Leon, but then COVID. So and yeah, I'm definitely gonna make a predictions video on uh, that fight with Nate and Leon. I think that's on the next pay per view. Yeah. So yeah, definitely gonna be talking about that one later. Welterweight division looks great right now. Uh, we have 3 dominant women's champions right now. Like, I don't think anyone's beaten Valentina. Don't think anyone's beaten Rose, and no one's been able to beat Amanda yet. So I don't know who's next for Rose. Lots of people are saying the rematch, but if you get starched like that, I don't think there's a rematch for you. And then Valentina ain't a lot of whole. There isn't a whole lot of people live for her. Maybe I was thinking Weili Zhang if she beat Rose, but yeah, unless Weili Zhang is done with 115, maybe. But I think it's silly because Jessica Andrade had like one fight at 125 and then got a shot. And so these strawweights are coming up to flyweight and fighting people. So I don't know. Leave it in the comment section who you think is next for all these champions. Um, Prayers for Chris Weidman, and yeah, hopefully, the next pay per view or even the next card is as good as this one. Like if the next card could like be half as good as this one, I think we're gonna be in for a good next month of fighting. And hopefully the MMA gods have been like, okay, we took Chris Weidman, but now you get great fights for the rest of the month, for the rest of the year. Let's take the year for Chris Weidman's career going down the toilet. That was so bad. That was so bad for him. Oh well. Have a good one. Subscribe, like the video. Yeah, leave in the comments what you guys thought about this card. Peace.